Hi, you've clicked on to today's tropical dip for Saturday over here in the Atlantic. Not a whole lot going on out here. Still got a lot of messy weather near the Cape Verde Islands, but the only organized feature is Tropical Storm Richard over here in the Western Caribbean. If we zoom in on this, you can see it's finally strengthening and lowering pressures in here. Recon's finding 1,000 millibar central pressures. Center is just off the northeast coast of Honduras over here under the convection, and this is coming across towards Belize. And looking at the track forecast over here, in the end I'm probably going to be guilty of being stubborn with the exact track which I had coming up through here and into the eastern Gulf as opposed to farther west. Still think these guys are a little too far west over here, keeping this over Mexico. If it dissipates fully and completely dies and loses everything by the time it gets through the middle of Mexico over here, then it might stay a little farther south. But if it stays intact at all, if it becomes a hurricane before hitting Belize, which it probably will, then you might want to watch. If the circulation remains intact, it will be curving up consistent with my ideas into the trough that will be coming across to the north and coming to get this, bringing a southwesterly flow up over the Gulf of Mexico. So this is, if it remains a potent circulation from the tropics, it is going to get curved up and drawn north, which is consistent with what I had many days ago, but it was farther west than where I had it previously. But anyhow, this is going to be a bad storm for Belize, decent little rainmaker, and winds may be a problem with this if it tries to ramp up right before landfall. Hopefully some interaction with the Honduras coastline may limit this as it comes in, but this will probably be a hurricane, and Belize should be on the watch, as well as Mexico and Guatemala, for rains with this. A track up in here in the western Gulf would probably not be a problem for the United States. If the circulation remains intact, it would probably be weakening on its way up here, as conditions would not be as favorable as if it were farther east, and thus if it comes all the way across, folks up in this area in the central Gulf Coast region won't have to worry too much about this. Possibly a little bit of a rainmaker, but really not much to worry about if this were to come across. So basically just a Central America problem at this point. If we go down the road, day 13, GFS ensemble mean 250 millibar winds. I know you can't see my cursor on this map, but you got a trough over the eastern seaboard in the means, and you got your TUT over the eastern Atlantic. And what this does is you're pulling air out of the Caribbean over here with the trough in the eastern seaboard, so you're lowering pressures in the Caribbean over here, and that's why we're seeing stuff like this showing up on the operational. You can see low pressure continuing to develop in the Caribbean in the longer term between days 10 and 15. Going to try to see if we can get Sherry trying to develop and come out of here, move into the eastern Caribbean, and then continue west, and likely getting drawn north with time over here. Something for the northern Caribbean islands to keep an eye on. The pattern favors this, and we'll have to see if we can get one more named storm during the first week of November. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.